So let me greet you again on today's meeting. Today is the Thursday, the 27th of February. It's the end of the month. And today we're going to have quite an interesting meeting because we're going to look into several important questions that will relate to many of the clients of our platform and overall investors into the string transportation technology. And today we're going to talk about what kind of steps need to be taken when transitioning to the updated platform, Micron Global, that will be launched in the second half or in next month or mid next month. Hopefully everything will go according to plan and there are no external factors that would affect the scheduled launch date. Also, I would like to thank you for taking the postponement of this meeting with understanding. It happened due to technical reasons. We had to push back the start time, and I would like to express my personal thanks to you for your patience. So let's check our connectivity, whether you can hear and see me well, whether I have to boost the volume on my part, although I think I've already boosted it to the maximum. Just give me some feedback on the scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is good and, 10 is perfect, and if it's smaller, then you can't hear me. I see 10s, everyone says they can hear me. Thanks for that. If for some reason, dear friends, you have problems with your volume or sound, then just add volume on your devices that you use to watch today's meeting. Okay, friends, then I think we can start. And what I would like to start with is one of the recent issues that we discussed during our last meeting that happened last Saturday. It was about a big number of clients on our platform and investors into the string transportation technology who are also ex-clients of the crowd investing, crowdfunding platform Skyway Invest Group, abbreviated as SWIG. Last meeting, we touched upon the question of why many clients didn't see their pre-IPO shares converted. And there is a huge problem related to that. And the problem is that even if a person had their pipes shared back then when SWIG was active, still many current SWIG clients right now cannot access their back offices because the website is down, the servers are down of SWIG. And here I would like to add some clarification to put everything in its place in order to explain how the entire legal interrelationship worked between the two different entities, GTI and SWIG companies, different independent companies, and I want you to understand how it all happened because I did read comments to the previous video, to the last before one video, some comments in the Telegram channel. Not everyone amongst our clients and investors into the string transportation technology fully understand the structure of the interaction between the two platforms or the crowdfunding platforms. They do not fully understand that those are completely isolated, different, independent legal entities that has no affiliation whatsoever, have no affiliation whatsoever. And probably it was during last meeting or two meetings ago, there was a partner in live who asked the question like, you are all the same, you are part of the same entity, guys, that when the technology was named Skyway, we all invested into Skyway. But the fact that people invested into the final investment product is one thing, but they might have done it through different platforms, and the interaction connections here are different as well. And there is no connection between two different investment platforms. So you can say that Skyworld Community or SW Systems and SWIG are one entity or one company and that it's the same as GTI. No, that's not correct. You cannot use the one size fits it all approach here. So we'd like to dot all the I's here and let you understand how the entire work was structured, or not the work, the interaction between the two companies, between the two platforms, so that you wouldn't have any misunderstanding or any questions left. It's very important because, after all, we're talking about the reputation of the brand itself. We're talking about the reputation of the investment uh, foundation fund, and also the reputation of the owner of the intellectual property and the founder, Dr. Initsky, because he might be the person who will be blamed for all those mistakes. And I very often see that in the comments, people blaming him for some reason. So I'd like to add some clarification here. And friends, is it still relevant for you? We have like 100 people participating in this Zoom meeting. Do you think I should pour some clarification on this topic today? I think it is relevant. This is kind of a cornerstone for us because without the understanding, this understanding, it will be quite difficult for us to work on the new platform if there is misconceptions about how everything is structured. Then similar questions will be asked, and again, there will be misunderstanding. So I see, guys, you are saying yes, it is relevant. Someone says, show us more schematics. You mean schematics like how it looks like on a diagram, right? He says, yes. I see partners from India also saying, yes, sir. Okay, so schematically, I think a couple of meetings ago, I showed you how the UST group looks like. So I think let's approach it from that angle. Alexander mentioned schematics, so let me try and explain it to you. So we have Global Transport Investments Company, which is a holding company, which is the main owner of the string transportation technology. And that company, GTI, founded a number of legal entities who have the task of implementing, introducing, promoting, and bringing to the market the technology itself. So that's what I was talking about during that meeting dedicated to the UST and its operations. I think I put it in a very understandable way how it is all built. This is just one aspect. GTI holding company, creating a number of companies who are indeed affiliated among each other in order to design, test, implement, and bring to the market the technology, to sell the technology, because marketing offices have been established. I'm not going to go into details here because we have an entire meeting dedicated to it. You can watch it. Now, let's talk about the square one. So how come a Global Transport Investments was capable of funding the string transportation technology, its creation? So let's go to the beginning here. The Global Transport Investments Company, starting from 2014 until 2020, cooperated with three crowd investing or crowdfunding platforms, which use the investment crowdfunding model. Platform one, where it all started with, is our platform, the one that we're working on here. And the meeting is held by this platform, RSW Systems. Then, in December 2013, and with the active operation started in January 2014, it happened. And last year we celebrated the 10-year anniversary of our platform. And now it's already 11 years that we've been active. So memorize this. The first platform is RSW Systems. Then in September 2014, a company was created by a person who was not related to the group of companies Skyway, because that's how the brand was called. So an individual called uh, named Andrei Havratov created a separate company, which was called RSW Investment Global, if I'm not mistaken, and it had the marketing brand of Skyway Invest Group, short SWIG. And from October 2014, if I'm not mistaken with the months, it might be give or take 1 or 2 months, but I think it was October 2014 when or late September or early October, when the agreement of cooperation was signed between the Global Transport Investments Company and Skyway Invest Group, SWIG company. After that, yeah, someone says October. Yes, thanks, October. Okay, October 2014. Then a third crowd investing platform was created, which back then was called Skyway Capital. Today, after rebranding, it's called Skyworld Community. That's a third platform. So, how did cooperation take place? And now we're talking about SWIG specifically. So how did SWIG cooperate with GTI? So how a SWIG client back then could become a co-owner of the train transportation technology, how their name was added to the registry of shareholders of GTI. This is very important to understand. Before 2020, the company, Global Transport Investment Company, worked, well, scratch that. So let's talk about how Swig operated, because back then I worked with that platform too. I know how all those processes happened, and many of you are fully aware of that as well, but I would like to remind you still. So Skyway Invest Group Company sold training packages. It's education information packages on financial literacy. The clients of that platform purchased access to the educational packages, and as a bonus, they received pre-IPO shares, or better, they received the obligation of the head of the crowdfunding platform, or from the company, the obligation from Swig and from the management of Swig, they received some kind of a certificate, an obligation of the head of the platform, Swig, to hand over the data, the name of the client, to the registry of shareholders, clients who bought the EIPs, the education information packages. And the company was obliged to hand over, to pass their names, and to have those names added to the register of GTI shareholders. And usually it happened on a monthly basis, or, for example, over a certain period. It could be a month, it could be a quarter. And the GTI company allocated to Skyway Invest Group a certain number of pre-IPO shares after Skyway Invest Group transferred money to GTI. Basically, this kind of a mutual settlement of accounts happened, and only after Skyway Invest Group paid to the GTI company, the list of clients of Swig were given to the GTI company, and based on that list, on that mutual settlement of accounts, the names of the Swig clients were added to the registry of GTI shareholders. So this how it worked. The Swig client at first received the obligations not from the GTI company. They did not receive the obligation from the president of Skyway company, Dr. Initsky. No. First, a person was a SWIG client. They received a certificate signed by the head of the platform, Andrei Havratov, and he issued those certificates to their clients, and only after Swig company paid to GTI for the pre-IPO shares and then handed over the list of their clients, and then based on the money, this amount of money paid, the names in the list were added to the registry of GTI shareholders. I don't think how else to put it. I think it should be clear by now. And that's what happened. That was what happening until late 2019. But already in late 2019, the management of Swig, the administration of Swig, particularly head of Swig, decided not to transfer the data of their clients to GTI, thus preventing conversion. And that was claimed as a condition for further cooperation. And the GTI company disagreed to do that. And the company, warned all of their clients about it. And last time I showed it to you. I showed this piece of news to you. And I wanted to make sure you saw it. Because in one of the comments, one of the partners said, well, if you warned, it doesn't mean people saw it. But guys, how else could have we inform the client? That was the only way. We just published the news about it. This is A. Also, I mentioned it during my meetings. Back then, I became head of the RSW systems. And back then, I also held meetings, online meetings, and I explained this topic at length, in very much detail. And hopefully, you guys present here remember it. We sent it by email as well. Probably not all of you received the email because not always email servers work as they should. Not always email notifications are sent properly or received properly. Sergey says, you should have sent it by snail mail. Well, Sergey, we'll get back to that. I wanted to explain you the timeline. I wanted to show you that GTI management and GTI group of companies did everything they could. They fully delivered on their obligations. So this is what I'm driving at right now, and I will make sure you understand. So right now, I would like to retrieve or restore the timeline here, show you the cooperation between the companies, and I would like to show you who is responsible for what in that process. So where was I? I was telling you that the group of companies Swig, which back then was already called Swig because in 2019 they rebranded themselves and they were called Consumer Community New, NEEW. So let's go back to that news that I mentioned. And once again, I would like to highlight the reason why the termination of the agreement happened. In here, you can see, I'm not going to read the preamble. It's self-explanatory. First, new set forth unacceptable form of cooperation involving reputational and legal risks. So we notified that the cooperation has ceased and why. So let's start from the beginning. We would like to inform you that the group of companies Skyway ceases cooperation with the consumer community New, previously known as Investment Group RSW Investment Group Ltd, branded as Skyway Invest Group, SWIG for short, and also with all the legal entities related to it. why it mentions all other legal entities related thereto, because SWIG back then and new had a lot of legal entities under it. And in order to not to have any misunderstandings between the GTI and new, so basically the agreement was terminated with both SWIG and all affiliated legal entities. So why it happened? This decision by the Skyway Group was dictated by the demands of the management of new regarding further cooperation and the agreement. The proposed changes to the agreement were related to the fact that SWIG would not convert pre-IPO shares in the Eurasian Railway Skyway Systems holding. The conversion procedure implied that every client and partner of SWIG who received in this way or another pre-IPO shares of ERSSH would be included in the registry of shareholders. By foregoing conversion, SWIG clients would not have their names added to the registry and would not have any obligations and would not receive any obligations from the parent company, but only from SWIG company, and would not have and Skyway would not have information about the names of SWIG clients. In other words, as I told you, when clients purchased packages from SWIG, they did not receive an extract from the shareholders registry. What they did receive was a certificate from SWIG with the obligation that SWIG would include their names in the registry, or better, would pass their names to the GTI to be included in the registry. So back then, it didn't happen anymore. And GTI wasn't okay with this because only if your name is entered into the registry, you have any legal proof that you co-own shares in the company. So this is a matter of utmost importance. This is why the agreement was terminated. I hope you understand this point. It is black on white. On the 25th of February 2020, there was a piece of news published about it. So here's my question to you. Is that point clear? Okay, Olga says not entirely clear. Olga, what exactly is not clear to you? So please tell me what exactly you don't understand. Let's break it down. Let's figure it out because it is very important. Because before we move on to the next stage, Olga says, I don't understand why SWIG didn't want to do everything legally for us, everything in a legal way. Look, guys, SWIG, when they became new, consumer community new, what did they do back then? They basically were created a big investment package or portfolio, sorry. So after they created the new platform, they stopped. Okay, scratch that. Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the beginning. Before the company SWIG became new, SWIG worked exclusively with GTI holding only. And that's how it was until 2019. So when in 2019 the new platform was launched, it was February, I think, 2019. That's when it happened, when NEEW happened. Leonid says, everything is clear. Let's talk about the new platform. Okay, Leonid, look, it's clear for me. It's clear for you. But there are lots of people for whom it is not clear and won't be clear even after this meeting. That's why I'm chewing it like for you. And I'm sorry if it's not interesting for you. We have to cater to the interests of those who aren't clear. And there are a lot of accusations going our way. And later on, those accusations will be addressed to Dr. Unitsky. And I, being the head of the platform, cannot allow those accusations to happen. So that's why I'm literally digesting it for you. I back it by facts, and then you can do whatever you want. Call black white and white black, but after all the facts are presented, then it's not our problem, but the problem of the eyesight of that person. Okay? So colleagues, if everything is clear for you, congratulations, well done. I'm very glad that you are a responsible investor and you treat your investments with utmost care and as a smart investor. But look, 5 years later, there are still people, after thousands of days, all of a sudden remembered that they missed something. Olga says, Leonid, keep your horses for 5 years. We didn't have a clue what happened. Yeah, exactly, Leonid. Olga supports my endeavor here because Olga wasn't clear, and there are thousands of other people who might not be clear about it. So let's go back to where was I? When new consumer community was created, the management of new on represented by Andrei Havratov, decided not only to raise funds for a huge technological project, Skyway technology. Now it's called UST technology. But please also remember, when I say Skyway, it's only because it was called Skyway back then. Now it is called UST, Unitsky Strain Technology. So back then, consumer community knew we're building a big investment portfolio that was then backed by a crypto unit token. And that portfolio included many different companies, investment structures, and projects. So, a separate investment package included a certain number of shares from GTI, and back then, new issued, well, back then, the let me put it in the correct way. Back then, the new consumer community decided not to give the names of their partners to the registry of GTI because by then the pre-IPO shares were owned not by individuals but the global portfolio. Okay, so packages purchased by people were not owned directly by them, but through the new consumer community. Let me show it to you. It's written here. It starts from here. Let me highlight it for you. That for the Skyway group of companies, the conversion procedure was obligatory and it was the significant condition prerequisite because only if a person's name is included in the registry, they have proof of co-ownership. Therefore, the proposed form of cooperation is not acceptable for Skyway group of companies because it involves unacceptable reputational and legal risks. And this is what I was talking about. The group of companies Skyway informs all clients and partners of consumer community knew that every client and partner of the SWIG group who received pre-IPO shares before February 3rd, 2020, which was the date of the last date of conversion, will be, if the patch purchase was made before the 3rd of February, their name will be included in the registry and they might also have the certificate delivered to them. Also, we would like to point out, this is what it's written, that the consumer community knew within their internal investment activity, which is the creation of a global investment portfolio called CRU, crypto unit, that's the abbreviation for the token, purchased a fixed package of pre-IPO shares. This package of pre-IPO shares cannot be allocated to individuals and cannot be sold inside the consumer community. This package belongs to the assets of the consumer community new, as are other assets. But you know, if you were the client of new consumer community, they showed their investment portfolio, what kind of companies and projects it consisted of, and that portfolio also included GTI pre-IPO shares. At the same time, Skyway group of companies, I'm referring here to the comment made by our partner. Just give me a second, please. Sergey wrote that they could have sent it by snail mail. Let me tell you, we did that so that the investors into the string transportation technology would be as happy as possible and wouldn't be left out. So the first thing that was done. At the same time, the group of companies Skyway meets the clients of consumer community new halfway and allows them to perform the conversion to those clients who have not yet done so for several reasons, for different reasons. You have such an opportunity before the 15th of March this year, it meant 2015, if the management of the consumer community new decides to allow such conversion. Moreover, so an opportunity was given to convert before the 15th of March, but I can tell you for sure that this opportunity, if people have not yet converted their pre-IPO shares, if a person indeed made the purchase and for them to see their pre-IPO shares and have their name included into the registry of GTI, people were able to follow that procedure, and their cases were considered individually if necessary. But for some reason, some miracle, the next events happened. So if you remember, the website of the consumer community new, people had different tabs or sub back offices within the main site. And there was a tab that was related to GTI, which was called TNG. And on that tab, for some reason, I don't know why, and the GTI management doesn't know either, why Swig company sold through that tab TNG pre-IPO shares to people so that people would receive so people would have their names added to the registry or become co-owners of the string transportation technology, but that didn't happen. People who invested through TNG in 2021, 2022, 2023 just received the certificate issued by the SWIG, or back then new CEO. If I'm not mistaken, they received a certificate that said something like that. The management of SWIG or new assumes the obligation to transfer the name of the company after the company capitalizes or after the market capitalization of the company happens. That's how it was worded, more or less. But as it was written, is written in this piece of news, in here, such purchases, such clients could not have their names transferred to the registry of the GTI shareholders. I will read it for you. It says here, by refusing conversion, SWIG clients will not have their names entered to the registry of shareholders of the holding, and that's what happened. So people, clients of SWIG, especially those who made purchases after March 2020, after February 2020, they received the obligations only of the new company, ex-SWIG, but they did not receive any obligations from GTI. So the question is, are there any reasons for or any grounds of illegal activities from GTI, or did Dr. Unitsky break any kind of promises? No, it's not there at all. This is what it's very important to understand, that before 2020, it was one procedure, and that procedure ended after 2020. That's how it happened, and everything that happened after was, let's say, not authorized operations on behalf of the management of new consumer community. And as a result, their website isn't up and the servers are down. And even people who probably did make the conversion, but they cannot access their back offices. But there is a way out of this situation. There is a solution. If a person, when registering on RSW platform using the same email that they used with SWIG, if they use the same email when registering on RSW systems with the same login, which is their email address, and if they did make the conversion before the 15th of March 2020, then people will see their names in the registry because all the data was transferred. And there were partners who wrote about it. And we all read it during last meeting. There was a partner who said, I did it, I see my name. And those who can't see their names, then they should address their questions to the management of the consumer community new. You see, friends, that's how it is. I see 8 messages in here. Okay, look, Olga, I do not agree with you because you says let's not judge and blame anyone in the comments. It means that the management of both companies did not agree on the clients, and the second party cannot prove their point, their argument, because Havratov is not available. It's not about clients, it's not about arrangements. The companies agreed not to continue cooperation on the previous terms. And it was written about 5 years ago. Black on white, everything is loud and clear. I personally worked in that company and I knew the position of Andrei Havratov, and I didn't agree with his decision, but he had his own vision how it should be. So it's not about being able to prove or not being able to prove your argument or your point of view. It's about facts. So they couldn't agree because it was not about clients. The thing is that CEO of New decided to follow their own path and create a global investment portfolio. So let me jump from one question to another. Let me first address Olga's comment. So New decided to create their own global investment portfolio. So they invested into one company, another company, in a third project, and by 2019, they also invested part of the money into the GTI company, UST. So they did it on behalf of their legal entity, and there was news published about it, both by us and GTI. And but then the condition was that the names of the clients will not be added to the registry. So the SWIG client, when purchasing the package from consumer community, agreed that they would not have their names added to the registry. And they received a kind of an obligation certificate from Havratov. So my question to you, then who should you should address your question to? Olga, you says my pre-IPO shares have been converted. Because when did you make your purchase, Olga? Olga, you say that your pre-IPO shares were converted and you can see them. But when did you make your last purchase on the new website? NEEW website. You say, I don't remember when I did my last purchase. Just go to your back office and see the date of the certificate, and you'll know. And you tell me when. Now, let me take one more comment from the chat and understand what it means. 1 second, please. Igor says, so what is the relation? What's the relation between you and Skyway? All the pre-IPO shares were in the TNG back office in 2014. Now we have having kind of a Russian divorce. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean pre-IPO of all investors where? So kind of a bunch of nonsensical words. New is a separate company. TNG is a separate like structure. Skyway group of companies is a separate structure. New is a SWIG after rebranding. At first it was SWIG, then they started calling themselves Consumer Community New. In SWIG there was a tab TNG and they kept it even after they created New. So the clients of SWIG in the section TNG could make purchases, and even before 2020, everything worked. They could have their names entered into the registry until the decision was taken not to transfer such name, until the management made the decision not to transfer the name. So Olga, you must have not be listening to me correctly or attentively. You are saying that if you warned that the agreement was terminated, then you did not sell pre-IPO shares through TNG tab. No, you didn't listen to me. They did sell pre-IPO shares in the TNG back office in 2021, 2022. They must have been doing so unlawfully or without authorization, without notifying their clients that they are purchasing shares in the portfolio and not directly in the GTI, sorry. So I will not be giving all the time to you, Olga. I would like to take some other comments as well here. Some other comments from our colleagues. Just give me a second, please. I see a comment from Lynn. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So you're saying that your names were included in the RSW website and we can see them as we did it immediately as we were told. Maxim, you are correct. Exactly. If you follow the news, if you keep track of your assets, if you're doing as told, if you follow the procedure, and if you keep your eyes on the price and keep your hand on the pulse, you do everything correctly, and everything should be correct. And if you missed something, then we on our side did all our best to warn you about it. Igor answered my question when he wrote the comment that now we're having this Russian divorce, he said. And Igor says, I've been an investor since April 2016. Nobody knew about New back then. New was created by Havratov, and there is kind of a mix-up here. Exactly, Igor. That's what I told you in the beginning. That's what I started with the timeline. At first, we had the RSW Systems platform, then there was a second investment partner, SWIG, and then Skyworld Community, and everything worked fine. Swig perfectly delivered on their obligations on fundraising. They were the leader in fundraising among all three platforms. And until such time when CEO Havratov did not made the decision to create their own investment portfolio, until that moment, everything worked greatly. And then things happened that I've told you about. So everyone has the right to follow their own path and of development. But at the same time, I think that you should not renegade on your previous obligations in order not to let down the clients who came for Skyway, because back then people it was important for people to invest into the technology of string transportation, but that's what we have right now. So dear friends, it is very important to understand all those subtleties, nuances. Okay. Just give me some time. I would like to translate some of the comments. Why my first shares are nowhere to be seen in my back office. It was written by Musasizi Daniel. I'm not sure what kind of back office you are talking about. RSW Systems? And did you invest through RSW Systems, or did you invest through SWIG? And you can see it in the RSW Systems back office. You need to specify here. Olga is writing that we do not need to discuss about legality or illegality of SWIG operations. I'm not talking about legalities or illegalities. What I'm saying that after the agreement was terminated, sales were still made, sales of pre-IPO shares. Because if we're talking about GTI holding and it announcing that everything from now on will have no relation to Skyway and that people's name will not be entered in the registry. It was mentioned, right? And if the second party, the second company, still made sales without people's names being added to the registry, then my question to you, was it lawful on their side to do so? If if people owned it through the company, then probably it's lawful. But at least they should have notified people that their names would not be entered and that they would own those pre-IPO shares through the company and not directly. And the only thing they would have is the obligation from Havratov. But it is not the obligation of Dr. Unitsky. That's the difference, you see? So if once the announcement was made that after February 2020 agreement is terminated, then it's it. And Olga says, this is your version. It's not my version. It's how it was. I know that Havratov is not here with us. I know him. I have a very friendly relationship with Andrei. And even where he is right now, I still kept contact with him. We still talked to each other. But again, let me tell you that this was his personal decision to follow a different path. It was his personal decision to do it, and he has his own reasons and consequences of the decisions he made, as any person faces the consequences of their actions and decisions made in life, things they do. I'm not saying whether those consequences are good or bad, but any action has a certain result, outcome. And if a decision was made not to work with, not if decision was made not to work together anymore, I'm talking about GTI and SWIG, then it's okay. It's a standard business procedure. They started working together, they fell apart, relations terminated, everyone follows their own path. But there are certain obligations that were accumulated over the period of such cooperation. And those obligations were mentioned in 2020. And the warning was made that the company who terminated cooperation the determining company terminated their cooperation. And if you keep investing through that platform, your name will not be entered and added to the registry. There is no third explanation, second explanation, my explanation, Havratov's explanation. It's a fact. That's how it was. Agreement terminated, names will not be added if you invest through the ex-partner platform. That's it. Olga says, on the new website, they also published this warning. Then why are you asking questions if you knew about it? You say we all knew about it. But Olga, you're saying that you are addressing people who were sleeping back then. But okay, it is still I felt it was my duty to explain it. And that's what I was doing. Sleepers, so called. Leonid says, yes, that's how it was. I remember. And those who slept through it, then they should have not slept because venture investing is a high risk business and you should not be sleeping on it or through it. Victor says, I remember Mr. Sibirakov and Sukhadoyev first transferred their pre-IPO shares from parent company to SWIG, and then they reversed the transfer. I don't know what you're talking about, Victor. It didn't really matter through which platform you invested. You still got your extract from GTI registry because the procedure was in place and everyone worked for the benefit of one single project, whether you invested through Skyway Capital, through SWIG or RSW. It didn't matter until 2020. The problem appeared later. So what I wanted to tell you is that it's not about accusations or pointing fingers. It's about accepting facts. In 2020, agreement was terminated. There was a hefty reason for that because SWIG or consumer community knew did not want or refused to transfer or hand over the names for conversion. That's it. And the second party was not okay with that. GTI terminated the agreement. The clients were warned about it. Everyone was warned that if you keep on investing through new back office, your name will not be added to the registry. That's it. So you shouldn't be asking questions. So let me take one more comment. There was a comment. There was plenty of time for SWIG members who bought shares, Lynn says. Exactly, exactly. Someone says, Maxim, you are right. Andrei Khavratov did mention that investments that were purchased through the new back office were not related to GTI. Thank you very much. Everything is clear. Yes, exactly. So when I'm saying that I know Andrei very well, it's not because I simply know him. Back then, I was also part of the top management of Swig. And when Swig was founded, it happened here in Odessa, in my city where I live right now. Together with Andrei Khavratov, we worked out the compensation plan of Swig. Even before Swig was created, we had the RSW Systems platform. In July 2014, we held one of the first international conferences held here in Odessa. And then Andrei decided to make an offer to Dr. Unitsky on behalf of a separate SWIG entity. And we started that process together. I was at the beginning of that process. Andrei lived in Odessa back then, and for the first 3 months of SWIG, from October, it started here in Odessa, and I personally was involved in it. But I came for the technology of Dr. Unitsky, for his name, and I started working with Andrei because back then he was the most experienced, most active investor and person with huge experience in network business. He definitely contributed a lot to the development of the investment crowdfunding dedicated to the funding of the string transportation technology. But that was happening before 2019. And then Andrei decided to follow his own path of development, and he had all rights to do so. Olga, I'm just telling you that you know as well. Good. I know. Andre and I, we were at the beginning of it all, of both SWIG and all that operation. And before 2019, of the before the 5th year anniversary of the company, I was in the top management of the company. And then we had like falling apart. We had differences in opinion. I was of the opinion that we should complete the business that we started, and I think I'm right in my decision. It's been 11 years that I've been doing this business, and this is the business that I came for. And I'm absolutely sure that my decision was the correct one. But at the same time, I totally respect Khavratov as a person who contributed a lot greatly, made a big contribution to promoting the importance of fundraising for string transportation technology. It's a fact. But at the same time, he had the right to follow his own path. But every decision has its own consequences. That's it. So I'm here being very honest, very candid, and I'm truly hope that Andre will soon have all his issues resolved regarding his future and his business. And I'm sure that he will be able to explain, clarify his reason for not converting the pre-IPO shares and not passing on the names of the clients to the registry. I'm just saying how things are. I'm not adding anything on my own. I'm sure he will not renegade on his obligations. How he's going to solve that whole thing? It will be his own decision, his own actions. But at the same time, I wanted to say that if SWIG clients after 2020 or new clients were not notified that their names will not be added to the registry because there were no legal grounds for that. If it didn't happen, if people were not warned about it, then in my opinion, this is not correct. This is not right. And I don't want to use any heavy words here, but it wasn't entirely correct if people weren't warned about it. But if you, as you, Olga, says, if they were notified about their names not being included in the registry, then why would you write that we're all part of the same company and we're all bearing the same obligations or liabilities? If clients were warned, notified, then this whole question is moot and not relevant at all. The only relevant question right now, and I will move on to the relevant topic. It will be a good segue from one topic to another. So those clients who were clients of SWIG who have not yet registered with RSW systems using the same email, please do so. And if your conversion happened before 2020, you will see your name displayed. If not, if you didn't have your pre-IPO shares converted before 2020, then you should address your complaints and questions to the SWIG or Consumer Community New. Why didn't they pass the data to the GTI company? So globally, everything that is shown in the registry can be correlated with the money received by Global Transport Investment. If money was transferred along with the names of the investors, you will see their names, your names. If some names are not in the registry, then probably there might have been technical mistakes, probably not intentional for sure, but there might have been some technical glitches. I don't know, some kind of a pool of clients might not have been transferred for some because of human error or technical error. But if it happened, we need to go to the responsible party. In this case, the management of New. I tried to reach out to the management of New. I don't know what their name is. I tried to reach out to Armand Murniks, Mila Surdukova. I called those people today, but they didn't pick up. So what I wanted to ask them is why TNG back office is down, why people cannot access the back office with the records of their purchases. So probably we could help them on an individual basis. If, for example, for technical reasons, people's names were not added to the registry, we could and try help them. In any case, clients who came for the technology of the string transportation, they should still have access, but for some reason the TNG back office is down and the server is down. I tried reaching out to the management of the platform and they did not respond either in the form of a text or didn't pick up the phone when I tried calling them using a messenger. So if some of the people present here are from the company that I'm talking about, please deliver that personal request from me to them that I would like to talk to the management represented by Armand Murniks or Mila Surdukova to help clients and investors into the string transportation technology to handle some of the issues related to mismatch of the data in the registry. When the conversion didn't happen after 2020, even after the company said that their names wouldn't be added. So I wanted clarify those issues with the management of new or coin set, whatever they're called right now. If we have people here, clients from that platform, I would like to ask you, please pass on my request to them and ask them to reach out to me. Lynn wrote that Andre always said that the SWIG members' portfolio shares not converted would eventually be properly paid through SWIG new. So next here. So regarding the first comment, that's what I was saying. It was Andrei's decision. That's what he decided. He said that the portfolio shares of SWIG members are not converted and eventually will be properly paid through SWIG. That's what I was saying. It was the obligations by the platform itself. We have no relations to them. Whether it was lawfully done, unlawfully done, it's an open question. Next, Lynn says, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's Lynn. It's easy to register with RSW. Use the same login that you used with SWIG in the beginning and register. RSW were of great help in this for us. That's what I'm saying, exactly. Thank you. On our side, even after the news that I read to you, even after the news was published, we tried to help our clients on individual basis too. Olga says we need to wait for Andre because the website has no funding. So a leader from that company reached out to me and said that even if the management don't have money, they're ready to chip in and to restore access to the website. It's very important because we're going to launch our updated platform. And it is important for us that people who contributed to the development of investment crowdfunding with big teams, thousands of people, with tens of thousands of people, they're now ready to work and raise investments across the world. But those people face the same problem that either the conversion didn't happen or there is no even like an archive of their purchases and they are ready. They're ready to help financially to recover the access to the website because right now they have to register in RSW and then in Micro and Global. We're talking about people who would like to work for the benefit of the string transportation technology and funding of the string transportation technology. So I'll be very grateful to you. Olga and Lynn wrote that you will reach out to Armand and Mila, the management of the company you work with, that we have partners who are ready to help financially in order to pay for the server, for the website, to keep it going for 3 or 6 months because people have thousands of people in their teams and they would like to retrieve the access to their personal records and their team's records. Okay, friends. I hope you don't have any questions regarding this topic anymore. Like, I hope that we've addressed everything and now you know what happened and how it happened over that time and that the responsibility for these particular actions and mechanisms lay entirely with the management of the group of companies new or consumer community new and the responsibility lies with them, because when the agreement was terminated, I'm saying it for the 10th time, we notified everyone and we said that if you keep on investing through this platform, that's what's going to happen. So I hope we don't have to go back to it anymore. But for now, I would like to hear some feedback from you, dear partners, whether everything is clear in this regard. Do you still have questions, or we can close this topic once and for all, for good? Because when we start actively working in March, April, May, according to the new marketing plan, I don't want to go back to those questions again. Time will show, someone says. Time will show what? Igor. Leonid says, we closed this topic, everything is clear, let's talk about the new platform. Okay. Friends, let's be more active here, because someone wrote me in the comments that they are irritated by being asked questions, asking for answers. But how else would you like to have this meeting? How can you work with people without having their feedback? It's not just like I'm a talking head giving you news about things. I'm not a TV studio here. Here, when you have a news presenter who reads the news and that's it. No, we have an interactive meeting here. We are a community of live people. And if you attended my live offline events, I always worked with the audience. I always received their feedback from the audience. So now we're doing it online, and I'm doing the same here. I'm asking you questions. I would like to have your feedback. It's normal. Maxim, please ask leaders who are ready to support financially to reach out to Armand directly. Let's start with me. Look, I wrote Armand and Mila a message. Today I wrote to Mila at 2:30 and I called her too, and no answer. Then I wrote Armand as well. I wrote Armand on the 23rd of November when this question was first raised. But my messages hadn't been read. Just tell them that our partners are ready to help financially. So I hope everything is clear. We've closed that topic. Let's talk about the new platform. Friends, as a segue from this topic to the next one, let me also remind you of a number of steps you need to make what you need to do before you register on the new platform. First, if everything is fine between with your accounts and your extracts in the registry, then I suggest you have this extract from the registry on 3 different media. First, you download it from your back office and you save it on your computer. Then you save it on your memory stick and then also print it out on paper. So if everything is fine, a second category of client, those clients who were in Swig but didn't register. Again, those clients who were in Swig and who had their pre-IPO shares converted, but they didn't register on RSW Systems website, they need to register on RSW Systems for the data to be synchronized. In this way, the clients will get all the extracts from the registry. And once we launch the Micron Global and they register on the updated platform, all of your extracts will be synchronized. This is second category of people. Then third category of people who haven't yet addressed this issue or didn't have this issue solved. For example, you don't know if your pre-IPO shares were converted or not converted, or you don't know, but you still want to be part of the investment crowdfunding. And now the question is, what happened to your previous purchases in Swig? You still need to do the same, even if right now at this stage you don't know what happened to your pre-IPO shares, you still need to register on RSW systems. I'm talking about ex-Swig clients here. You still need to register using the same login, same email address. You register on the RSW systems, and after that, you register on Micron Global. Why should you do it? Because if in your particular case the issue is eventually addressed, solved in some way, somehow, in future, the situation is solved, the one that the problem is solved, still the synchronization will happen through the RSW systems. Let me remind you, then once Micron Global is launched, RSW systems will still be up and running as an archive of all your purchases, of all your data about your investments into the string transportation technology. But you won't be able to make purchases in RSW systems. You won't be able to make withdrawals in the RSW systems. All the financial transactions will be over. It will be like an archive data website. Your records as platform users and clients/investors into the string transportation technology. So third category, even if you are not sure, you still follow the same algorithm. And finally, just give me a second, please. Before this problem is solved, whether it will be solved or not, it will still be on the table. But on the new platform, you will be able to be engaged in the marketing activities and make new purchases. Okay, friends, what else is important to note? Just give me a second, please. Just 1 second. So why the conversion didn't happen? Because some clients of Swig back then did not enter into agreements. So first an agreement is made, and only then an extract is received. So that's why you might not have received your pre-IPO shares. But to know that, our RSW systems clients, who are also Swig clients, need access to the TNG back office. So you see how it's all interrelated. But I don't think, Olga, that they don't have money. It's not a lot of money to pay for the access to the website for 3 months, so that people would go there, download the data, and close the issue. Because some people did not even enter into an agreement. That's why their names were not added to the registry. That's one of the reasons. So this is as far as the Swig clients are concerned. As for our current RSW systems clients, some of you guys did not enter into an agreement, and that's why you don't have your name added to the registry. So you need to conclude the agreement in the documents section of your back office and finalize the, let's call it, verification procedure on our platform. So this is A. B, on our platform, we have a category of clients who opened installments in 2023, 2024, and there were delays in payment by outstanding installments. By outstanding, it means that they didn't finish making payments in 10 months, for example. But those packages are still active. Many of you do not have those packages blocked for you. So here's what we're gonna do. We will allow you to finish your installments, because when we move to the new updated platform, all the outstanding platforms or installments plans or outstanding obligations, payment obligations will be canceled. And those clients who have outstanding installments will have the appropriate number of pre-IPO shares allocated to them according to how much money they paid. Let me clarify. If a person in 2023, for example, in July 2023, purchased a package in installments for 10 months and paid for 7 months and didn't pay for 3 months, but at the same time they used the deferred payment option. We give this possibility to people 2 times to skip their payment. So for example, they made a purchase in July 2023, 6 payments passed, they didn't pay in January 2024, in February 2024. So they used twice the possibility not to pay, and that package was not closed. So currently they don't have an extract from the registry and they still have outstanding liabilities. If we close that package and mark it as outstanding, then everything will be recalculated and they will receive the shares according to the current discount, not the discount back then. So those of you who still have non-paid installments, you still have the opportunity until April to finalize your installment payments in order to benefit from the previous discounts and not the current discounts. Because when you made those purchases, you very often used promotional discounts back then, a year or two ago. So pay the outstanding amount and you will receive the pre-IPO shares according to the discount back then, and not 35 or what is the current discount or what the discount is in April. So it is very important that before we launch a new platform, you take advantage of this opportunity. It is very important. So colleagues, I will address the questions related to the platform a little bit later, but we've been already talking for 90 minutes. We've given so much time to Swig. So let me remind you one more thing. You should finalize verification if you haven't done so, because at a certain point in time, it was possible to make purchases without verification, but now verification is obligatory. So for you not to go through the verification again on Micron Global, then you can verify on RSW. Because when you register on Micron Global and you already went through the verification on RSW, then the data will be synchronized and you will be flagged as a verified, marked as a verified client. So in order not to go through the verification on Micron Global, go through the verification on RSW. Colleagues, we've already spent so much time on Swig. It is important, yes, it's a reputational issue, and I'm very, very concerned with reputation. So we had to discuss it. But I'm afraid we're running out of time, and we won't have enough time to tell you everything, for me to tell you everything about Micron. But we still have time before the launch. Someone says, can we register children in RSW? who don't have a passport yet, but their shares, pre-IPO shares, are already converted in GND. Let me put it this way. I'm against making investments before the age of 18 because it is not correct legally. What do I mean by that? It's like a two-edged sword. On the one hand, it's good. For example, at the age of 16, a person, a child, already has the correct financial vision, has knowledge about investments and building their own investment portfolio. But at the same time, it is a violation of the law in many countries. Let's take different exchanges, crypto exchanges like Binance and Bybit. You can't register if you're under 18 and conduct transactions. So, Olga, in reply to your question, I cannot give you a definite answer right now. It is a question for our lawyers. So, I'm not in a position to answer your question right now, okay? So, friends, ask me a couple of more questions about the platform because what I was planning to tell you about Micron Global requires like another 90 minutes, and we don't have that time today. Well, let's move it to a meeting in March in 1 week. What's gonna be? It's gonna be the 6th of March. On the 6th of March, we will resume this topic because I have so many things to tell you about Micron Global, yet we shifted the focus today on a different topic. Important topic too. Ask me a couple of questions. I will answer those questions gladly. On the 6th of March, we will have to give congratulations to our ladies because the 8th of March is International Women's Day. Well, of course, you can, on this day, take advantage of our promotion and, for example, I don't know, purchase a package to your fair lady. Suraj wrote, very nice and clearly explained about Swig. Thank you very much, Mr. Suraj, for your feedback. That's why I gave it so much time, because it is an important question. There are a lot of Swig clients among our partners, and it was my duty to explain everything. It is my tribute to Andrei Khavratov because he contributed greatly to the development of the string transportation technology. It is through his platform that a lot of people joined the initiative. But when paths divided, separated, we need to, cross all the T's here to avoid any kind of misunderstanding and for you not to have any accusations to GTI against GTI, and for you not to have any accusations against Dr. Initsky as the president of UST and the owner of the technology. This is my main message that I wanted to convey when I was talking about SWIG. Someone is asking, what is Micron Global and should we register there? Micron Global is a rebranded platform of RSW Systems. So we decided to rebrand our current platform. We decided to change the marketing plan, the compensation plan that would allow people, partners, to earn better commissions for their work. So partners will be receiving commission from the entire agents network and not just from the five levels. So Micron Global has their own marketing plan. And there is a whole philosophy behind the rebranding and the message to the community. That's what I wanted to discuss with you today. But unfortunately, I won't be able to do so. So we will discuss it in more detail next time. and we will also explain why rebranding was made, and we will go through the entire timeline from A to Z, from rebranding to the practical work and practical activity network operations, the launch of the platform. This is something that I wanted to discuss with you today, tell you about today, but we're going to do that on the 6th of March. Maxim, I recently opened a 10-month contract. Will I be able to pay for it on the new platform? Yes, Maya. All of you active packages, I'm not talking about outstanding, non-paid packages, just active packages will be transferred to the new platform. All your previous purchases, all your previous investments will be synchronized and extracts from the registry, and also the new current packages, active packages will also be synchronized, and you will be able to pay for them on the new platform, but not outstanding or delayed packages. Olga says, I just found out that I don't have access because only Andrei Khavratov has access. And even if we pay for the website, it won't help. Olga, where do you have this information from? She says, pre-IPO shares will still be there. We just have to wait. Armand said it on numerous occasions. Well, it doesn't mean that that's how it's gonna be. If you say it's one thing, but how it is in actuality is a different thing. You say that Armand is not the owner, but okay, but there is a website with records. As far as I understand, as far as I understand, the websites are split into different back offices. The website is split in different back offices, CoinSet, etc., TNG, and we're talking about paying for the domain name, right? There are IT specialists that did it, that managed this process. So we can only guess here, but I would like to receive some clear answer from the management itself and not from hearsay or indirectly through the clients. I would like to discuss it with the management. So let's not go back to Swig anymore, okay? Ask me questions about Micron Global, please. How can we find Micron Global website? Is it in the RSW back office, sir? No. Right now, the back office of Micron Global is 99% ready. Right now, what we're doing, we're synchronizing the database between RSW systems and Micron Global. We're working on the security protocol, which will be used to transfer the data from RSWs to Micron Global, and through which people's names will be added to the registry. So right now, technical work is being conducted on the server security side, database, etc. The back office itself is ready, but we need to synchronize the information. So as soon as the synchronization is done, as soon as the work is finished, we will deploy micronglobal.com and the website will be up and running. It's not micro, it's Micron Global, Lynn. Okay, let's discuss the philosophy, the message, the timeline, the beginning, why, reasons, everything. Discuss during a separate meeting, okay, on the 6th. But my big request to you, not to ask me questions about SWIG, extracts from the registry, things that we've discussed today for more than 90 minutes. So let's not waste time on those questions, okay, next time. I will, of course, outline the format of our meeting. I will warn everyone that we're going to have a productive, straightforward meeting about Micron Global. And for now, I would like to thank all those partners who were waiting for the news about the new platform, because you guys displayed outstanding patience, because many of you knew the information that I tried to convey in very much detail today, and you still showed patience, you showed respect towards partners who didn't know it. So I'd like to thank you first and foremost for being respectful and for being patient about this particular topic, about this particular question that we've been discussing today. So again, friends, you have my sincerest thanks, and personally, you showed patience and respect. Thank you for that. Also, I would like to thank all of our guests and meeting participants who took my numerous repetitions of the same concepts with respect and patience. But I think repetition is the only way of delivering the message and making sure that our clients fully understand the answers to all of the questions that they didn't have answers to. And it's also okay because, well, basically, throughout all these years, information was delivered chaotically in an unqualified manner, sometimes incorrectly. Sometimes information was given in a distorted way, intentionally or unintentionally. People were misled. So the fact that some people didn't have a full understanding is explainable. So I would like to thank you as well for listening to me with much attention to my speech, to my answers that I gave during this meeting. Leonid wrote, "For that you need to share the recording of this meeting and add a title to it, saying that here you will find all the answers about SWIG." So Ruslan, this is my request to you. I'm talking to my moderator. Call it this way. All the answers about SWIG, something along those lines. So when we have questions in Telegram, we can give the link to this particular meeting to those people. Sergey says, give us please the recording. Yes, for sure. You must have noticed that after every meeting, next day we publish the links to the recordings of those meetings. We publish those meetings on YouTube and Vimeo. So all of our clients who cannot watch YouTube, if they face restrictions related to YouTube, you can go to Vimeo. There are no restrictions there. You can watch everything in good quality, audio and video. Okay, friends, then I think we can call it a day. Nikolai wrote, a very informative meeting. Thank you very much. Honestly, really, I am very glad that it turned out to be informative and useful to you. That's my gratitude to you too. So, friends, let's meet on the 6th of March at the same time. Well, usual time, not today. Today we're an hour late, right? So we'll have a meeting at our usual time. Uh, And thank you for waiting, by the way, guys, because I know some of you wanted to have this. We're waiting for this meeting an hour earlier. Again, thank you for your patience, for your understanding, okay? Again, all the best, guys, and see you on the 6th of March. We will talk exclusively about a topic that we wanted to talk for such a long time, the topic about the new updated platform and everything related to it. So again, all the best. Have a nice evening. I wish you productive last days of winter. The day after tomorrow, we'll have the first day of spring. Let me congratulate you on the new cycle in nature. Things will start to blossom, and I wish all of you friends during that period use that period with the same message of blossoming and prospering, because that's when our platform is going to be launched, and we need to put as much effort as possible to make sure that our platform also blossoms and prospers, and together with it, the string transportation technology would prosper and blossom. So symbolically, it all fits, you know? Okay, friends, thank you very much again, and see you on the 6th of March. Bye bye.